Hey there. Welcome to the Flute 360 podcast. I'm Dr. Heidi Kay Begay, and I'm a flutist, educator, coach, and podcaster. My God-given mission is to serve you. I am passionate about guiding you, the modern-day flutist, to discover your unique voice on and off the stage. The goal of this podcast is to help you thrive, both as an artist and as a musicpreneur. Go ahead and grab some espresso, your favorite notepad, and let's get to it. Today's episode 260 is titled Thinking of the Big Picture with Dr. Erika Boysen.
Hey everyone, this is Corinne Smith here from the William S. Haynes Company. I'm excited to introduce to you an exciting new initiative that is available now to flute teachers. Introducing Club 88 for educators. We know that educators like you provide the inspiration and enthusiasm for the next generation of flutists. We literally couldn't do it without you. So we have made Club 88 for educators an exclusively inclusive club for flute teachers all around the world. Club 88 for Educators offers a specially tailored selection of perks and benefits we can offer you for spreading your love for all things Haynes. These benefits include discount on Haynes merch, the opportunity to earn Haynes dollars to purchase goods, services, and events, a community forum where you can share ideas, tips, and tricks and stay connected with the Haynes family of educators, free shipping on studio samplers within the continental United States, priority scheduling for Haynes University classes, and invitations to exclusive Club 88 events at festivals and conventions around the world. We believe that teaching should be more rewarding, and with Club 88 for educators from Haynes, it will be. To find out more information and to sign up to start earning your rewards today, visit our website at wmshaynes.com/Club 88.
Hello.
Hi, Erika.
Oh, now I can hear you.
Nice. You have a wonderful radio voice.
It's extra low today because I'm fighting a bit of a cold, but it's not as nasally as I was expecting. But yes, it's very low.
Well, you will have to start your own podcast show when you have cold congestion to show off that radio voice.
Break it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to fill in the blank.
Yeah. Erika Boysen's Flute podcast.
There you go.
How are you?
It's been a balmy, windy day today. I know it has been. It's been since 2020, I feel like.
Very close. Very good memory. Pre-pandemic, it was 2019 Salt Lake City.
It was. No, but you did a class for UNCG.
Oh, yeah. And that was right at the beginning of the pandemic, but in person. But you're right.
Yeah, but the last time I saw you in person, I absolutely recall that was Salt Lake. It was at the Haynes booth, right? That you were interviewing people?
Yeah, good memory. Yeah. Erika's I am killing it today.
I got the radio voice. Good memory. Well, it was a memorable experience. I mean, how can I forget your energy? You bring a very unique, wonderful energy that is memorable.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And likewise, you have a presence and an energy when you enter the room. It's oh, Erika's here. It's time for fun and laughter and all the good stuff.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, that makes two of us. Let's let our energy combust. Woo!
I feel like a star is forming now.
Anyway, how have you been? You have just been, oh my gosh, to keep up with all the things you're doing. And I'm on your mailing list, and your newsletter stuff is so great, and all the resources you provide. And it's incredible all that you keep up with.
Thank you for that support. I appreciate that. Is there something in particular that has been resonating with you?
Well, I think, was it the second to last one that I clicked on, that an email that I got from you, which was kind of people could sign up for what was the word you used? It was like consultation when like I need to write an email back and I just really need someone to give me some feedback or help me with a response or whatever. And I don't know many people that offer that resource, which is I'm here for you, sign up for something and I'm happy just to give you some, another perspective or help counsel you in this way. And anyway, I was like, that's a great idea. There's a need for that. Way to go, Heidi.
Oh, thank you. I really just am noticing what my students and my clients are kind of doing naturally. So like between like the scheduled 1 hour like coaching sessions, something that is really scheduled, something that's very white glove for that person, in between those 1 hour lessons or the 1 hour coaching. And I'm sure you resonate with this to some degree as being a professor. There's questions between the sessions that pop up.
Of course, that are timely too.
Right. And they're timely and they're texting you and it's like, there's a need for this. So that's why I've kind of deemed it. And I don't think I can really claim that I coined the term, but this idea of pocket coaching. So if at one, given moment, because a lot of my friends lately too, they'll get a call from a band director and the band director will be like, yeah, we're thinking about hiring a new flute instructor and, shoot me an email with by tomorrow. And like, you see them freak out like, oh my gosh, I recognize that this is a big opportunity. Yeah. This is a very limited amount of time. I need some feedback like ASAP. I don't have time to schedule something that's a formal sit down. I just need to pick someone's brain like right now. And a lot of it's crazy, Erika, and you probably see this with your students, but they know what to do. They know what to do. But it's the loving hand holding. It's the encouragement. It's the last piece of pushing them lovingly off the edge and saying, you got this. And, we intuitively know what to do, but sometimes because we're going into the unknown, it can be scary. It can, somebody could be afraid and they just need that boost of encouragement of, yes, you're doing the right thing. Hit send.
So true.
Right?
Yes. And that way it also provides a sense of security that, oh my gosh, if this goes south, at least I'll also have this person that I know will be in my corner. But more often than not, it doesn't go south. We just need that someone to feel like, yes, you're exactly right. And providing that sense of, I don't know, collaboration and partnership and confidence and all those things that you already referenced.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So speaking of students and like hurdles and things like that, your academic year is coming to a close in the next few weeks. Yay.
Yeah. The last day of classes was a week ago. Can you believe that? We ended very early. So commencement is on Friday.
Wow.
I know. All these, I always say spring semester flies by, but fall semester flies by. Everything just flies by. I don't know why. It's not specific to a season or a semester, but
yeah. Do you have any graduating seniors or graduate students?
Yes, I have 2 that are graduating this spring, two undergrads in music education, and then a master's student. Yeah, so it's always the epitome of the term bittersweet is students graduating. I think about these students and how much I've gotten to be a part of their journey and to witness this incredible growth, not only professionally, but personally. And some of these undergrads, they came in as high school seniors and they were 17, 18, and it's pretty incredible. We all know this, whether it's through observation or from our, the lived experience ourselves, but the growth that happens over those 4 years. So it's bitter in that I don't get to see them on a regular basis. And I won't be in as regular contact as I am currently, but so sweet that I got to be a part of, this brief portion of their life, and be a part of their journey in this way. And of course, I can always hope that we stay in contact, and so often I do with my alumni. But yes, we're going to focus on the sweetness and the celebration because there's always so much to celebrate at this time of the year.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. And because my headspace is in the same spot, also seeing seniors in high school graduating, things like that. What I admire about your teaching is not only are you such a lovely player, but you really pour yourself into your students. And I know that like flute fundamentals and technique and artistry is important, especially if they're getting a music-based degree.
Mhm.
But since we're speaking of graduation and them going into a new season, what lessons are really important for you as their professor to instill in them throughout the 4 or 2-year program, like listening or compassion, etc.?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, where to begin with that? And this is why I believe in music education. I can stand on this soapbox for forever because it's a great way to tangibly and in a really applied, individualized way learn and cultivate these life skills, that are required of any profession, rather whether that's time management, right? Whether that's setting goals, whether that's working with others, a collaborative spirit, public speaking, setting goals. Did I just already? I think I already mentioned that. I mean, it's required, not just in the arts field or music specifically, but across all disciplines. So, what do I hope for them? I'm thinking about these 3 individuals specifically. And I guess what I would love for them as some of them I know are in the midst of applying to teaching jobs in the area in public schools. Another person is applying to some admin jobs and kind of taking a gap year and going to be applying to some other graduate studies that's a little more aimed towards performance. But I hope they can reflect upon the incredible growth that during their, whether it's 2 or 4 or one person, 3 years that they were here. And so that whenever hard pressed against a deadline or a feeling of, will I be able to complete this? I've never done this. Do I have the tools? Do I have the skill set to go into a new program and start a program from the ground up, or work with students that I've never worked with, or whatever the challenge may be, they can reflect on the fact that they were able to tackle a lot of these challenges in their degree, and take that on as a sense of accomplishment and a sense of confidence, and know that they are well equipped, to combat and to navigate whatever challenges come their way. Because I have been an observer to the fact that they have navigated those challenges in the past. So that is my hope, and that is my wish for them.
Yeah, no, I love that. And what I hear is like just encouraging them to trust themselves and trust the training and trust that even though you may not know the answer to said problem in a given season, that you can figure it out, you can ask other people and break it down. And they do that with repertoire. They do that with flute technique. They do that in, their, I don't know, math or science course. A formula may be tricky or a passage may be tricky on the flute, but by kind of breaking it down, stripping it down, it's solvable and you can figure it out. And if you can't, use others to support you and pick their brains.
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of a way of tying it back into flute lessons. I think so often when a student first gets their first piece or assigned, or maybe they choose to learn the first piece with extended techniques, maybe it requires different fingerings than they're used to, or making different colors of sound than they're used to. I so often I hear a resistance, kind of like, I don't know how to do this. I don't think I can play this piece. I've never played a piece like this before. And it's a very much kind of a moment in the flute studio that is reflected in real life, right? Which is, I'm going to encounter situations that I have not experienced, but I can trust that if I take one measure or one note or one fingering one day at a time, that, that consistent one sense of goal-oriented practice is going to get me through the end of the piece. And before I know it, I'll have learned the piece, and I'll be performing it, and I won't even remember what it felt like when I even questioned my ability to program this piece. So yes, go music education.
Yeah. And you definitely learn as you go, right? Even I'm sure some of the repertoire that falls onto our stance. It's like, all right, one measure at a time.
It's
Here we
so
go.
true. These are life lessons. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So you've been in North Carolina for how long now?
So I started fall of 2015. So I guess that means I've finished year 8, which is kind of, like I said, remember, it all just flies by. It doesn't matter which semester or how many years. It all just, if time flies when you're having fun. And I've enjoyed every year here. That is for sure.
That's amazing. No, and I kind of blame the last 3 years of the pandemic really propelling time forward, because it like time compresses or it's doing something very wonky. And it's just like, whoa, what is this?
Yeah.
No, so it's amazing. So in the 8 years that you've been the flute professor there, how have you grown as a teacher?
Yeah. I mean, I like to think that's not even a year by year. That's kind of, I like to think about me growing every single day. I think about these interactions. I think about certain students or certain lessons that challenge me as a teacher, whether it's a student asking a clarifying question or whether it's an individual student and their unique background that really stretches me in terms of how I approach their unique curriculum, how I approach blending their interests and who they are and their background into what we're doing in these lessons, which then encourages me to expand, my expertise. Right now I have a couple students who are playing that are very active in our jazz program. So they are switching these genres really frequently throughout each day. And they're teaching, they've led several studio classes about improvisation and these different learning different tunes and all of that. And it's inspired me to go outside of my comfort zone, and experiment with other modes of music making and other cultures and beyond, just the canon that I was taught and that I've been practicing and rehearsing. So I've evolved in a lot of different ways. But specifically, I think about my students, and each of these students that I've worked with over the past 8 years has incited change and growth in me, right? As a player, as someone who we teach a lot of the same concepts in lessons, right? Obviously there's a lot of flute specific things. There's just human development things in terms of just to harken back to what we were talking about, life skills, all of that. But I feel like I have a broader range of metaphors and tools and resources to point to cultivate these skills. I think those are probably what I would point to as how I have evolved as a teacher.
I love that. Yeah. No, and what I hear too is being present and just noticing those changes on a day-to-day basis and just constantly challenging yourself to, like, exactly what you said, stepping outside of your own comfort zone. And I tell my students all the time, like, you teach me more than I teach you sometimes, because you're teaching me to get messy, to step outside of that box, to try something like jazz improv that maybe I wouldn't have explored if you didn't show an interest in it. Yeah. So we owe a lot to our students as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of graduation being on Friday and 8 years and all that, you are also a new mom. How's your baby boy?
Yeah, my son, he's almost 2. He'll be 2 in August.
Okay.
And life as a mom is incredible. It kind of has expanded this is how I reference it. It expands the human experience in all ways.
Okay.
He helps me see just the small, what, as we get older, things that we take for granted, like the change of seasons or, the beauty, stopping to look at an insect and really analyze the magic, of a single insect, and how we rely on these insects. I mean, I'm going kind of meta here, but it is such a gift to see the world through a child's eyes,
Yeah.
He's just learning. His language stuff is just taking off. So, when he starts to see birds, he always points them out, which is a great way for me to remind myself of, to be looking up in the sky and to be acknowledging these incredible creatures. And I don't think we need necessarily kids in our lives to be able to be reminded of the wonder and awe that abounds. I mean, I think about, I also have a dog, and I sometimes I also think about on our walks, my sweet golden retriever Willa, stops to quite literally smell everything. And sometimes we just need those creatures, whether they are our children, our fur babies, our friends, arts, poets, whatever, to help us stop and reflect on things that are so easily overlooked, and to pay attention, and to and just give us a sense of time and appreciation for. So that was an interesting way to answer how is motherhood, especially with spring and all of that. I just getting to go on walks with him and go to the park and explore and teach him about this incredible world is it's been a blast.
That's cool. No, that's amazing. I feel like you just had him yesterday.
I know. It feels, well, in some ways it feels that way. In other ways it does not.
Yeah.
He's walking and running here and there. And
are you looking for the perfect flute or piccolo to take your music to the next level? Look no further than the Carolyn Nesbaum Music Company in Plano, Texas. Since 1996, we've been the go-to source for flutists of all levels, with an unrivaled selection of flutes, piccolos, low flutes, and head joints from dozens of top makers. But we're more than just a music store. We're your complete resource for everything flute related, with sheet music, instrumental accessories, teaching resources, and health information all under one roof. And our in-house staff of experts is always ready to help you find exactly what you need to achieve your musical goals. At the Carolyn Nesbaum Music Company, we're committed to excellence in all aspects of our business, from our top quality products to our friendly personalized service. And with an in-house repair staff certified in all major brands, you can trust us to keep your instruments in top condition for years to come. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on the latest news and events, and visit our website at fluteforyou.com to shop our extensive selection of flutes, piccolos, and more. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, the Carolyn Nesbaum Music Company is your one-stop flute shop. No, but it's a beautiful reminder. You're right. Like, you do learn and you are reminded of those, life's simplicities and beauties through their eyes, because they are exploring it for the very first time. And here, us being much older on earth and taking these things for granted, we could just walk by it and not stop and smell the roses, right? Yeah. I'm not a mama, but I'm an auntie, and my niece is 4 years old. And she, of course, is the most gorgeous thing ever. And I'm her most favorite aunt ever, of course, naturally. But when I get to spend time with her, she's kind of encouraged me, or have, encouraged me to be in this space of play and experimentation and being really curious. And even like in my playing, it's crazy. Just even things that she will do that are just very Rosalind, like, Auntie, tell me a story, and then she's like whispering in my ear and we're telling stories. But then the next minute, like 2 seconds later, she can like throw a fit and then she gets really loud. And it's like, oh, I can play with, those dynamic changes in my flute. Like, it gets me really curious, like, wow, when I've heard teachers say, like, how soft can you really get? And then how loud can you get? And then when you see it, like in the drop of a dime from a toddler, you're like, oh, wow. Like there is so much dynamic contrast, and there's so much room for exploration. I know that's kind of a doinky thing to connect, but for me, like, I really loved your reminder of like, that curiosity and seeing life. And then I was just kind of connecting it back to our music world and playing with sound and being curious of all those different things. And yeah, no, I resonate with what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because of being a mom and a professor and a performer and all the things that you do, how do you juggle it all?
Yeah. I mean, I think we all do this in all the different hats that we wear as humans, whether we're parents or not, what caretakers of our parents or of loved ones, a member of community that is looking after each other. I mean, life is complex for us all, and I think we go, at least I can speak to my experience, we go through seasons. And I think, some seasons it's about understanding how to be present for that part of the day that you have dedicated for whatever task, right? And I was thinking about this actually with the story that you mentioned with your niece. Another thing that my son has taught me is just how to be present, right? And I think my students teach me that too. It's so tempting, especially with emails that just are nonstop, or texts that are coming in between lessons. I find myself writing an email and a student walks in and I just say, give me 1 minute so I can finish this email. And it's so tempting just to, want to finish out this one thing, or I notice my mind is still on that email when a lesson has started, and it's my job to be present for the person that I'm engaging with in that moment. Right. And if that can mean the person that is in the flute studio that I'm in right now, and they have the flute out and we're talking about what it is that they're bringing to their lesson. That can mean me and the relationship I have with my flute and whatever I have on that stand, to make sure I'm mindful of being present and understanding what I'm trying to get done in that moment. And then when I go home, and, Jack is on the floor and he has his blue sheep in one hand and he has his cow in the other. And we are talking about the different sounds and we're playing, that I am present with him. And I'm not thinking about the notes that I need to learn, or the emails that I have yet to write, or the program that I still need to submit, or the grass that I need to mow, or the text that I forgot to respond to last night. I think there's no way of balancing it all perfectly. And there's no way of doing it all in a perfect or even in a balanced way. I think one can just strive to be present for, whomever they're connecting with and whatever they set their intention to in that moment. Easier said than done.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of demands in everyone's life. And we're constantly being distracted, and technology is getting really great about how to pull our attention and distract us from what's in front of us. But yeah, I feel like I'm going meta with these answers.
You can go any direction you want to with your answers, because they're your answers.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I love it. Yeah. And you're right. It is a large pill to swallow sometimes, being present. It's easier said than done. And I really resonate with what you said with the seasons.
Yeah.
There are different seasons, and it just kind of ebbs and flow. Not to sound cheesy, but really like an ocean. I mean, the tide will come in and at some point it's going to go back. And that's just life.
Yeah. And you know what? The tide, that allows for all parts of ourselves to develop, I think. And we see this just kind of in human development. There's an emphasis on, cultivating certain parts of ourselves in different decades of our life, and it all informs it's all a part of the whole, right? To connect this to kind of how I see me and my personal self, there's so often we love to split up this is me as a teacher, this is me as a performer, this is me as an academic, this, and I really see it's all very much a symbiotic thing, and it all informs each other, and it all feels more meaningful when it can inform, the other.
Hence,
Yeah.
literally 360. It's all connected. So what you just said, I'm going to snip it and cut out that audio, and that will be the new Flute 360 intro that is relayed before the actual guest talk. I'm going to steal your words, and I'm going to be like, I'm going to credit Dr. Erika, and Flute 360 is ... and it's going to be perfect.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going back with these larger themes in our conversation.
Yeah,
That,
no, I love it.
Music in this field, it's all related to life, and what we learn in our music and in our practice and all of that can be so applied to life.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, because I mean, literally, I kid you not, that was the inspiration, the basis of Flute 360. It was like who I am as a person and my ideas of the world and how I operate in the world and how I take care of myself as a human being very much feeds into how I am as a flutist. And it feeds into how I am as a businesswoman. And and you can't separate it. And I don't like categorizing, oh, Heidi teacher here and then Heidi human here. Like, I can't disconnect those different roles and beings, and that's not how I operate. And I like it that way, because if I take time to do like professional development as an educator, that's going to inform me as a human, and et cetera, et cetera. And so that's how I operate. And so thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any projects on the docket for the summer or for next year that you are really looking forward to?
So, right, flute projects, and then projects apart from the flute. I was going into the projects apart from the flute, one of which was starting yet again a garden that I have yet to really get vegetables to sprout from, but I'm hoping this summer is different. And getting back into reading, I picked out a couple different fiction books that, oh my gosh, well, actually some that are novels and some that aren't not. But getting back into that. But in terms of, more specifically with the flute in my hands, or about the flute, this summer I'm going to, I guess most immediately, I'm going to New York and premiering a concerto by Xu Li with the Chelsea Symphony, entitled The Dryad, that I'm really looking forward to. I am going to be in Pittsburgh for the month of July to play with the Pittsburgh New Music Ensemble. So if you're in that area, it's an incredible ensemble doing programming works by living composers, commissioned works. And it's all about the intersection of music and theater. It's for Pierrot ensemble and soprano and bass baritone. Let's see here. What else? And then I'm finishing this a project that has been long in the works, which is a book, which is kind of more of a methods book that is targeted just for the applied flute studio in higher ed. And we have a lot of different contributing authors for this book. And it kind of goes through fundamentals of flute playing in a little bit more of a detailed, nuanced way than some other method books that really are targeted more for the beginner intermediate flute. That'll be published through Conway Publishing rather. So yeah, lots of things, and it's this time of life. It's a fun season, where these creative projects get to come to the fore. And
no, that's amazing about your garden too. When I heard you say that, I was like, oh my gosh, I do not have a green thumb. Do you have a green thumb?
No, I don't. I
kill plants.
I do. I really do too. I really do. And there's so much to be learned about that. And my dear teacher, Paula Robeson, would always talk about the therapeutic nature of just putting your hands in soil and getting out there every day and tending to a garden. And I mean, there's so much about the natural. I mean, going back to another part of our conversation, so much about the natural world, that can teach us and provide perspective and all of that. So I'm giving it another go. I'll let you know how
Let me know if you find any secrets or tips or tricks, because I end up killing so many plants. I've stopped because I felt so bad for how many plants have passed through my hands, and I don't know what it is. Like, I water them, I take care of them. It's not like I'm ignoring them, but I somehow still kill them.
We're lifelong learners.
Perfect. Okay, there's space, there's room for me to hone my green.
Yes. And you know what? If we apply the same dedication to our craft on this instrument as to gardening, I'm sure there will be improvement.
Yes, there you go. Another big picture idea here.
There you go. Yes, I get back around.
That's going to be the title for today, is Big Picture Ideas.
Yes.
With Erika. Something like that. We'll have to get creative.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Big Picture with Erika.
Perfect. I love that.
With the radio voice.
Yes.
With the cold-induced, the daycare, viri, low voice of Erika.
Yeah. No, I love it. And that's really interesting that you brought that up about your teacher, Paula. I think I've seen some sort of, I don't know if it was a blog or an actual bona fide article, but I remember reading her talking about the benefits of gardening and getting your hands in the soil. So she must have purged something. I don't know if it was her warm-up book, the orange book. I don't know if it's that.
Or the Paula, she has, actually, what if it's right here? I know there's a tree.
Yeah.
Cover, right? Oh, maybe it's not right here. Things are.
Yeah, it's either in that book, like a foreword or a preface, or it was something on Facebook. I don't know, but I do remember her writing something along those lines.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Nice. So I want to respect your time, because I know you're wrapping up your semester and all that jazz. So as we are putting a nice bow to our conversation, you are also a Haynes artist. I would be remiss not to bring up the wonderful team.
No kidding. This incredible team.
Yeah.
That makes these incredible instruments. Oh my gosh. I love my Haynes. I have a Fusion out with a 14-karat head joint, P style cut, and I just love this instrument. I've been playing on it since 2012, and I've been trying out some other instruments, and I can't get away from this flute. I love it.
Yeah.
And I love that team. I love, Blair, Corinne, Gareth, Avon, Joy. Yeah, it's an incredibly supportive of all of us, and I feel like do a really great job of providing our community with incredible instruments, and also being aware of what our community needs and always evolving and trying to, better serve this community. Yeah. I really can't speak highly enough of the Haynes family.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And that does bring our conversation full circle, because we started off talking about, when was the last time?
Yeah, you're right. You got the Haynes booth.
Yeah, and you're right. They are so supportive of creative ideas and forward thinking and filling in the gaps, like you said, seeing a void where students or teachers or performers perhaps need support in X area, and saying, okay, how can we support them with this program or with this event, or do you know what I mean? And
gosh, yes.
Yeah, no, I witnessed that firsthand ever since basically 2018. Haynes was my very first sponsor for Flute 360.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Go Haynes.
Yeah.
What they're doing with the Young Artist Program. And I did a mentor like Zoom session with some of these young artists. It is, you're right. It kind of all comes back to how do we give back, and how do we solicit what the needs are, and how can we contribute to helping out our community, and also, the next generation. And yeah. So go Haynes.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I don't know if you know this, but the last segment of every 360 talk, we do a little fun, it's totally fun, portion called picks. Now, when I say this, everyone goes e-gags because they're like, what are you asking me to do, Heidi? But it's fun. It's what is your pick for today? And it could be gardening, or it could be chamomile tea with honey right now to soothe my achy throat. Just something fun to humanize everything that we're talking about. And I don't know, some people have said Captain Crunch is their favorite cereal. And then we get excited because we're like, oh, wow, I didn't know Joe's favorite thing was Captain Crunch. So it's a fun segment.
Oh my goodness. I don't know okay, so this is what I'm looking out onto.
Okay.
This beautiful swaying of trees. I don't know if you can, it's just so beautiful here. And the weather is exactly my favorite type of weather, which is, it's a high of 60 and the sun is out, blue skies. And my pick for today is going on a walk. And this walk does not, this was my walk to school because I live close enough to my office that I can walk there. It's a joy and a wonder, and I love it. And I try to make sure that I'm not listening to anything on this walk, that nice. I allow for just my mind to wander. And I'm not listening to podcasts or music, that I yet again to go back to just being present in that and each and every step. And I don't know, to enjoy being outside and moving my body. So my pick today is a walk through the neighborhood without being connected to one's phone, and enjoying this incredible turn of the season. That's my pick.
Beautiful pick. I love it. No, that's wonderful. And it is good too. And I have to keep myself honest by what I know I need in the present or whatever season, I will have to physically put my phone in another room, in a drawer, lock it, shut it out. Even if I'm going to the grocery store, no phone. Even if I'm going down the street to whatever. You know what I mean? Because you can be on it all the time and it's exhausting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's literally meant to make sure that you're always with the sounds. I don't know if you could hear these. I don't even know how to turn off these sounds. And we just went to Microsoft Outlook and I get this brrrring every time I get an email. It's I don't need that. And here I am wearing an Apple Watch that I just pulled out. And granted, it doesn't give me notifications, but it's all around, So disconnecting and going outside, being in the natural world and moving your body. Yes, that's my pick.
Love it. Well, hopefully you will be able to enjoy your walk home from school, back home, and the sun will still be semi out.
Yes.
And I'm so glad that we have been able to reconnect and see each other again. And it's been too long. Don't be a stranger. I'm always here.
Yes.
And whether it's an actual official, even though it didn't feel like it, you made it feel very just super comfortable. Even if it's not an official podcast talk, you can always call me and catch up. And but feel better. And really, honestly,
I think I'm on the upswing.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Tea and honey. I was kind of joking about that pick, but that would be a really good pick right now for your throat.
That's right. That's right. Well, you take care. It's so good to talk with you. Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you, Erika.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Flute 360 podcast. Please subscribe, rate, and review through your favorite podcast app, such as Apple, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, among others. Thank you. Let's talk about Flute.